Today we will be discussing some of the basic techniques of GI bleed embolization by demonstrating few case examples. Transcatheter embolization is a minimally invasive technique of interventional radiology where selective closure of target vessel is performed through specialized hardware. For this, we need to have a better knowledge of the GI vasculature, mechanism and the techniques of embolization, as well as various embolizing agents which are being used. The basic interventional radiology hardware which we use for embolizations. So this is a vascular sheath. We can use either femoral sheath or radial sheath depending upon our comfort. And these are the diagnostic catheters of various shapes. So we use specific catheters for cannulation into specific vessels depending upon the vascular anatomy. And this is the basic Terumo guide wire which is used for further cannulation and further venturing distally into the selected vessel. For further super-selective cannulation of further distal smaller branches, we use something called microcatheters and microwires. Coming to the cases, the first case, this is a young male with a known case of chronic pancreatitis. He was having severe epigastric pain. CT was performed. The CT angiogram was demonstrating a large pancreatic pseudocyst with an enhancing splenic artery pseudoaneurysm. This patient was taken for splenic artery embolization, and here you can see diagnostic catheter in the celiac artery, then a thinner microcatheter in the splenic artery, and this is a super selective splenic artery angiogram demonstrating a narrow neck pseudoaneurysm. So we basically use coils in such cases. Coils are very widely used, and there are two types of coils: pushable coils and detachable coils. So these are basically platinum fibered coils, which while deployed into the blood system cause immediate thrombosis of the blood vessels. So for true aneurysm, like in brain aneurysms, we have to do aneurysm coiling, packing of the aneurysm with the coils. Now, in pseudoaneurysm, which actually does not have a proper blood vessel wall, it's just like a focal hematoma. We need to obliterate the parent vessel, and if we only block the proximal aspect, the pseudoaneurysm fills distally through some of the collaterals because the GA system, the gastrointestinal system, is well adequately collateralized. So what we need to do, we need to block the entire vessel from distal to the proximal aspect, which is something called trapdoor technique or sandwich technique. So we did the same thing. We deployed pushable coils in this splenic artery across the segment of the pseudoaneurysm, distal to proximal, and this is the post-embolization where you can see radiodense coils and there is absolutely no pseudoaneurysm. So this is the pre-image and this is the post-image of trapdoor or sandwich technique of splenic artery embolization. Now the second case, she is an elderly female. She presented with frank hematemesis and melena, and there was a drop in hemoglobin. Endoscopy was performed, which demonstrated frank gush of blood from the medial wall of D2 segment of duodenum. The patient was immediately taken for embolization. So this is the SIM1 catheter in the celiac artery, a thinner microcatheter selectively cannulating the gastroduodenal artery, and this is a super selective gastroduodenal angiogram demonstrating a small pseudoaneurysm in the mid GDA. Again, we went ahead and we did trapdoor embolization, first distal coil packing followed by proximal coil packing. So trapdoor or sandwich technique, and the patient recovered well. So third case, a case of chronic pancreatitis with Haemosuccus pancreaticus. She was basically also having hematemesis, and you can see a small subtle pseudoaneurysm. So superselective angiogram demonstrating the small pseudoaneurysm and trapdoor embolization. So coil packing from distal to proximal, and you can see once embolization has been done, a collateral has opened up distally to supply the spleen. This is another case of pancreatitis. Patient was having severe epigastric pain, and when we did CT angiogram, there was a large retroperitoneal hematoma, and there was active extravasation from the left gastroepiploic artery. So superselective angiogram, again demonstrating pseudoaneurysm from the left gastroepiploic artery. So this artery was very thin, so it was very difficult to take the microcatheter into the artery for trapdoor embolization. In such specific cases, we use liquid embolizing agents which can further flow forward from the tip of the microcatheter. So most commonly used one is N-butyl cyanoacrylate or glue. This is not radio opaque. So we usually mix it with a radio opaque lipiodol, and we usually inject from the microcatheter. So this is the glue cast, completely obliterating the pseudoaneurysm. So you have to remember that the glue also has to reach the distal point of the feeding vessel of the pseudoaneurysm, so that there should not be any filling from the collateral backwards. And CT demonstrating the pseudoaneurysm nicely obliterated by glue, and some non-target embolization of the few splenic branches. So this is the pre and this is the post. Glue cast completely obliterating the pseudoaneurysm. So glue is helpful in such cases. There is another case, middle-aged man with a case of chronic pancreatitis and distal splenic artery pseudoaneurysm. Now, it is a very bad-looking pseudoaneurysm at the splenic artery hilum, bifurcation of the main splenic artery. So it was very difficult for coil embolization. Hence, we have injected glue and we have completely obliterated the distal splenic artery pseudoaneurysm, and the patient recovered. So now, this is another interesting case of pancreatitis. They did lateral pancreaticojejunostomy. The gastrosurgeon did lateral pancreaticojejunostomy, and following which he observed frank bleed from the surgical drain. CT angiogram was performed, which demonstrated a small pseudoaneurysm from the inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery branch. So now the patient was taken on the same day. This is a diagnostic catheter in the SMA, and this is the microcatheter, and this is the inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. I couldn't able to see any pseudoaneurysm arising from the IPDA, so I was skeptical. I was thinking what to do. Then, in such cases, it is better to use a temporary embolizing agent like gel foam. So this gel foam causes temporary hemostasis for few days, and any pseudoaneurysm due to any surgical inflammation and all will get resolved. So I injected the gel foam, and I completely occluded the inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery, and the patient was completely fine. The bleed from the surgical drain stopped, and you can see there is no pseudoaneurysm. So this is another young male with no history of trauma and severe right hypochondriac pain. There was a drop in hemoglobin, and CT findings were like there was a large hematoma compressing the liver parenchyma, and this entire thing is the hematoma, which was predominantly subcapsular, and the liver was markedly compressed. And there is a hematoma at segment 6 with multiple sites of active hemorrhage from the hematoma. So in such cases, we can use particle embolizing agents like PVA particles. So these PVA particles come in different sizes depending upon the vessel which we need to embolize, and once we use it along with the contrast agent and inject into the selected vessel, it achieves immediate hemostasis. And we did a selective angiogram. This is the diagnostic catheter in the celiac, microcatheter going up to the segment 6 branch of the hepatic artery, and superselective angiogram of the segment 6 branch revealing abnormal vascularity of the segment 6 branch. And after injecting the PVA particles, we completely obliterated and occluded the segment 6 branch of the hepatic artery. So patient completely recovered and he was completely stable. Basically, IR management with embolization has now become the first line of treatment in visceral artery hemorrhages. Knowledge about vascular anatomy, collaterals, techniques of embolization, and indications of each embolic agent with adequate expertise is very essential for IR in effective management of these cases. When performed in time, these procedures are life-saving and precludes the need for surgery. Thank you.